Ninampenda Bwana wangu Yesu, kwani ananisikiliza mimi, sauti ya dua zangu zote.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm so busy. How can I really make an impact? How can God use the little that I have? How can I make a difference?
HIV/AIDS has literally left millions of orphans and thousands of widows in every community in Ethiopia, and millions of people who have never heard the gospel. The church is currently struggling to cope with the situation. Our mission is to support the church in their efforts to bring hope to the hopeless by equipping local pastors and by adopting the orphan and the widowed, all within some of the poorest and most unreached areas of Ethiopia. How do we do this? According to a recent UNICEF study, there are over 20 million orphans across Africa, almost 4 million in Ethiopia. 60% of all children are stunted physically and mentally due to malnutrition. Only 50% of children attend school. Less than 18% make it onto primary school. Bjorn Lundqvist, a UNICEF representative in Ethiopia, made the following statement. In all countries where you have a big HIV/AIDS epidemic, at first you don't see any orphans at all, as they are absorbed by the traditional systems. And then suddenly you seem to reach some type of breaking point and you start finding these children in the streets. You start finding them working in difficult situations. You start finding even child-headed households. Through our sponsorship program, fatherless children and orphans are enrolled in Christian school, provided a monthly feeding allowance, and are included in a weekly Sunday school class. Most of all, they are given an opportunity to respond to the gospel and begin an eternal relationship with Jesus Christ. Our ultimate goal is to work with the Ethiopian church to further develop a culture of adoption within the church family. Ethiopians caring for Ethiopians in Ethiopia. Psalm 10:14. But you, O God, do see trouble and grief. You consider it to take it in hand. The victim admits himself to you. You are the helper of the fatherless. Ethiopia is predominantly a male breadwinning society. Widows have a difficult time providing for their children because they don't feel empowered or capable, and they no longer have their husbands to rely on. Our microloan program is designed as a hand-up, not necessarily a handout. A small group of widows come together to take out a microloan to help them gain financial provision. As a group, the widows develop community with each other. They are accountable to each other to pay back the microloans as well. If one person is struggling, the others pick up the slack. The widows meet weekly for fellowship and prayer and are supported by the Christian community. James 1:27. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted from the world. Our church planning model reflects the belief that indigenous pastors are often more effective in relating to their communities in Ethiopia than foreign missionaries, mainly because they are already part of the culture and understand the social and economic paradigms. There are many pastors who have a desire to plant churches, but they don't have the support necessary to carry out such visions. The rural areas of Ethiopia are considered hostile to church planting due to animist, Muslim, and Orthodox beliefs. In some parts of Ethiopia, especially the north and northeastern regions, followers of Jesus are stoned for preaching the gospel or for attempting to plant churches. In one area of Ethiopia, we support church planting through equipping pastors with bicycles and feeding street beggars and homeless people. One pastor who was equipped with a bicycle traveled 30 miles each weekend to help plant a church. Our ministry team visited this church. We were extremely pleased with their passion and commitment to God. Unfortunately, some Ethiopians are forced to beg on the street for survival. For the past year, we have been supporting a monthly feeding outreach for street people and beggars. Each month, they come together for a church service and then eat a meal together. The ministry-supported widows help prepare the food, and local church members help up the church service. Often society and even the church body looks down on these people. Through the feeding outreach, we've advocated for the beggars in society and within the church. A local church woman recently invited the feeding outreach team into her home for dinner. After the dinner, she told the team how convicted she felt about looking down upon the beggars before the outreach. Because of the work of the ministry, her heart has been changed, and she now assists with the monthly feeding outreaches. Though they may not have a place to sleep at night, they have food in their stomachs, community with other street people, and ultimately, community with God. Proverbs 31:8. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Fight for the rights of those who are destitute.
I guess God can use the little that I have to make a difference.
Furahi roho yangu, dumlani mwake, kwa kuwa Bwana amekutendea ukarimu. Bwana